So good morning, everybody. It's 11 o'clock and it is Tuesday, March the 8th. So welcome to the Mission Viejo chapter of the Hearing Loss Association of America. And just so you know, this meeting is being recorded and available to anyone who wants to uh, watch it again or invite a friend to watch it. Okay. And we post it on our YouTube channel. Alan Katsura is here. Alan, wave your hand. And he is technical support for you today. If anytime you're having an issue in this meeting, you can chat him. We just played the instructions for chatting, so just use the chat function to send him a message. This is the disclaimer. So HLAA, Mission Viejo, does not endorse. Oops, I'm not showing you this. Shame on me. Okay. Does not endorse any single product or service. The meeting is intended to provide information, education, and support. Okay. CaptionCall is our presenter today. Lisa is. But CaptionCall is more than that. CaptionCall is our sponsor, and we are so grateful. CaptionCall supports the chapter by subsidizing our captioner. The captioning is done by a live person. We have Joe Gale is here. She's in Chicago, Illinois, connecting with us and providing the captions in real time. So we want to thank CaptionCall. Just so you know, you get captions wherever you need them, at home, on your iPhone, on your Android phone, and on your iPad. And Lisa's here to talk about that today. So, yay. The Hearing Loss Association is a 501c3 tax exempt chapter, nonprofit. Any donations are tax deductible. It might be available to you depending on your tax status. And nobody has an income. Nobody makes any money. This is strictly a volunteer effort. No one receives compensation of any kind. And we depend on your donations for support. And we hope that you will donate. You can donate online at HLAAMV.org, and we appreciate that. So here's my name, my contact information, if you would like to contact me. We are also on Twitter, and we're on Facebook, so you can join us there. All righty. And one thing that I want to do is tell you a little bit about our next program, because sometimes people have to leave early and they don't find out about our next program. So let me just see here if I can. What happened to that? All right. I am going to take you and show you. Okay, I'm going to take you to our website. This is HLAAMV.org. And you'll notice we have the YouTube button up here. We have the donate button. That's for your donations. Thank you very much. And I want to show you, here's upcoming events, and I plan on putting a lot of events in here. The events will come from chapters all over the United States, as long as I have information about it, and I'd like to put them up there for you. So our next
This sounds going to.
meeting is going to be April the 12th, Department of Consumer Affairs. I'm going to click on this to get the information. Here it is. This is how you can get the information. So we're having Paul Sanchez. He's the CEO of Department of Consumer Affairs. Specifically, he's in the speech language pathology and audiology and hearing aid dispensers board, and they regulate the audiologists, hearing aid dispensers, and hearing aid regulations for the state. So he is going to be offering information. He's going to tell you about license requirements. I think it would be interesting for you to know about the education your professionals get. Talk about hearing aid trial periods. They do vary. There is a state minimum.
No, that's fine. And he knows it's done. No, you can send it to.
Alrighty, so we're gonna mute a few people here. Okay, talks about deposits and purchase receipts. Really important that you, because if there's an issue, you want to make sure you're prepared to address the issue. How to file a complaint, and he's going to talk about over-the-counter hearing aids and the new regulations that are being established. And there's also the issue of locked hearing aids. So that is going to be a really important meeting for people who need to understand or would like to understand and will benefit from the regulations here in the state of California. Okay. And with that, I want to introduce you to Lisa Kaufman. And she has a PowerPoint presentation, and she's also very flexible. So if you get a question, if you have a question at any time, use the raise hand feature, and your video will pop up first on the side. I'll be able to see it, and we'll get your question answered. Okay, so Lisa, welcome to our meeting. And
thank you.
Yes, how long have you been with CaptionCall now?
I just celebrated my 6th year with this company, and it's been a wonderful ride. I knew early on that I was exactly where I'm supposed to be.
Okay. There's some people in this room that know that that I worked for CaptionCall when I retired from the Hearing Loss Association of America in Maryland and moved back here. I took a part-time job right here in Laguna Woods only. That's the way it started out. Laguna Woods actually was a test site in 2011. That's when CaptionCall came on the scene. So I was working with installing phones here in Laguna Woods, and then it went on. I started to do some training. There was one lady up in San Francisco, and I went up there and I trained her to install phones up there. And then I took a trip from here all the way to Washington, talking to audiologists and hearing aid dispensers and whatever. So I retired, I should say, in December of 2014. So it's really been a while since I've been. There's been a lot of changes, and I depend on Lisa to keep me caught up. So, okay, Lisa, it's all yours.
All right. Thanks for that, Tony. And Tony was a real asset to the company, and we're grateful not only for what she did for Caption Call, but I'm grateful for what she does for all of us with hearing loss. I am one of you. I have hearing loss myself, and I get it. And I just can't think of a more wonderful leader. So thank you, Tony, for all you do. I can't believe you don't get paid. So here we are, Caption Call. I know most of you are familiar with Caption Call. I'm here to answer questions, share anything that you don't already know about or are unaware of. And I'm also here to ask for your help. So with that, welcome. Who's got the slides?
Oh, all right, let's see. I hope I can make a move. There we go.
You're all well aware of how many people in the US have hearing loss, and a lot of those people are, of course, in denial. But I heard a statistic the other day that half the people over the age of 75 have hearing loss, and I think that's kind of low. But we all know that it's not only a chronic condition, but it leads to other things like hypertension and arthritis and even dementia. We're all aware of that. Hearing loss, the prevalence of hearing loss doubles for every decade that we age. And I just think it's obvious that as we age, we know we can't see and we know we can't hear. So we're here to help.
Okay. Come on. Oops. Uh-oh.
That's okay.
Whoa. What is going on here?
When you push the next button so many times, it went ahead and forwarded.
Okay, hold on. Let me just see what I can do here.
Is there anybody here who has never been introduced to Caption Call? Can you wave, raise your hand? Barbara? Okay. So for the rest of you, wave your hand if you already have a Caption Call phone. Perfect. I can't see everybody at once. Let's change that. Gallery view. All right. And those of you who don't have video on, we're going to guess. So today, my contact information is in the chat. If those of you with Caption Call need a service call, reach out to me. I'm happy to help you. If those of you who have a Caption Call phone are looking for our newest model or an upgrade or have a situation where another phone is required, by all means, reach out. Symptoms of hearing loss. We know that sometimes we're misunderstood. I've been known to answer the wrong question. I want to alleviate social anxiety altogether and tell you that everybody makes mistakes. So it's okay to be social and not always know what's going on, because I promise you, not everybody out there does. People with hearing loss tend to stay home more, and then thus that leads to isolation, which we all know what goes on from there. People get depressed, they get lonely, and it's just a vicious cycle. And we're here to just try to help people stay connected. And I know you all know Helen Keller. It's one of my favorite quotes. Blindness cuts us off from things, but deafness cuts us off from people. And I would like to help cut some of the anxiety out of having hearing loss with Caption Call. Untreated hearing loss, kind of a review. You all know that if you don't treat your hearing loss with helpful devices and preferably hearing aids, it can lead to things like anxiety, stroke, heart attack, balance issues. How many times do you hear people falling and they're clumsy, and they're not really clumsy? They just have hearing loss that is untreated. Depression, untreated hearing loss can also lead to a loss of brain mass, cognitive decline, and even dementia and early onset Alzheimer's, as we know has been proven by a Johns Hopkins study. We don't want that to happen to anybody. Tony? Typical hearing loss treatments, we're well aware, hearing aids, captioning phones, yay, that's why we're here. There are other devices and accessories. I know Tony is just awesome at keeping you all in the loop on what's available out there. And of course, cochlear implants. She looks so cute there with her CaptionCall phone.
It sure does.
So make your next call with confidence, knowing you'll understand every word with the CaptionCall service. Now, as we go through the features of the phone, I can't see hands raising. Can you, Tony?
If people are using the raise hand feature, you have a way to get our attention, ask a question. Even those people who are not on video,
Okay.
they can use the raise hand feature, and I'll see that they have a question.
So feel free to ask questions along the way. That's why I'm here. Next slide.
Okay.
CaptionCall works with a regular landline phone, and the captions come in real time. Oh, Lisa, there's such a delay. Well, wherever you're sitting right now, when someone calls you, that information has to go to the closest call center. For us here in California, that happens to be Tucson, Arizona. So if I were to call Tony right now on her CaptionCall phone, my voice goes all the way to Tucson and back to her phone, and the captions show up in less than 4 seconds. So I happen to think it's pretty quick. There's a large screen. There's 3 different sizes of text. The audio quality is superb to none. And we have lots of features that we can share with you, probably more features than anybody needs, but our engineering team is very, very thorough. So let's take a closer look. We not only have the handset, but there's a speakerphone. We can customize the audio feature, and this, I think, feature is probably one of the most interesting of all. I can show you on the phone that I have here after we finish the slideshow. For those of us who wear hearing aids, they do a pretty good job of making sure we can understand everybody. For some people, their hearing aids can't do enough. And for the people who can't afford hearing aids, this is especially nice because we can customize the audio output on the phone to enhance their experience, so it's closer to natural hearing for them. We're the only phone on the market that can do this for them. The ringer is not only loud with 4 options of sounds, but the phone can actually flash and let you know that the phone is ringing. You can save conversations when it's important and you don't want to take notes while you're talking because you're trying to hear and listen and comprehend. You can save the call and go back and reread it later at your leisure and as many times as you want. We have a phone book that'll hold 200 contacts, and they can each have 3 numbers. So that's 600 phone numbers. Who needs that many? But it's there if you do. You can go back and see if you missed a call, and the volume and the text settings are way more volume and size than anybody needs. So we like to think that we covered everything. And if we forget something, by all means, you let us know what you need in a phone and we'll do our best to supply it. Most recommended by hearing healthcare providers. CaptionCall is the leader in the industry. It's easy to use. The service and the phone are available to you at no cost. Make sure you understand that. There's never, ever a charge or a fee for CaptionCall users. And we not only provide that, but we deliver it and install it for you. So you don't have to go around crawling out under the desk or figure out, which plug goes into which space. We take care of everything for you. And you don't need any insurance. You don't need a doctor's note anymore. It's all about self-certification. So we're going to talk more about that afterwards, how we can help other people. We now have Bluetooth connectivity, which is absolutely awesome. Either with hearing aids or with a cell phone. We can connect to the CaptionCall phone, and we say we're hearing aid friendly because, of course, with our speakerphone, you don't get any feedback when you're like you do when you're holding the handset up to your hearing aids. Oh, now you can see me. Yay. Okay, Tony, next slide.
Thank you, Ellen. Okay. Here we go.
All right, let's take a closer look at the phone. I'm going to try to go through these pretty quickly because I honestly prefer question and answers and to see your faces. So let's brush through these though, so we can talk about the phone itself. Switch hook button, you hang up to, that's where the handset goes to hang up a call. Or if you have three-way calling, that's what you use to get your other call. Touch screen display, much like a smartphone or an iPad or a tablet, you just touch the screen and it does exactly what you want it to do. If you're not aware of touch screens, they are heat sensitive. So if your hands are cold, that could be why buttons aren't working for you if you ever get into that situation. We have a speaker, audio output for the speakerphone. All right, it happens there. Voice message button. If someone leaves you a message, this button is going to light up red to show you that you have a message. You can see that from across the room. Telephone keypad, you can dial just like you always do on a manual phone, but you can also use the touch screen like you would on a cell phone by touching the person's name and then their number, it dials automatically. The speakerphone button, that's the button you use if you don't want to pick up the handset. And the volume dial controls both the volume and the ringer volume. And it's just a rotation, much like your radio in the car. That was really nice. Somebody's following along really well. Is that Alan? Or Tony? Okay, so the phone is adjustable in that you can have it at whatever angle is comfortable for you. Don't worry about all these connections because we do all that for you. So next slide. This is a sample of the screen and you can see in the upper left-hand corner, recent calls. And when you touch that, it's green, and then across the top, it's going to tell you what location you are using on the phone. As in right now, we're in recent calls. Let's look at Karen Wilson. Today at 4:30, the arrow is pointing down. That means it was an incoming call. If we skip down to Dave Peterson, you see the red symbol. That's a handset. We missed his call. And so that you know when an arrow is pointing up, it's that we made an outgoing call. Next slide. If we were to have touched one of those names, this is what shows up. In this case, on the left, you'll see we've gone into contacts. We were in recent calls, that's at the top of the screen. And now we're in contacts. Just by touching it, it turns green. And Bill is the contact that we touched, and we can see Bill's phone number. Okay. If we wanted to call Bill's work number, we just touch that green 486-529-7071, and the phone automatically calls Bill. Next slide, please. Captions are typically set for those of us with hearing loss to be on all the time. It's really easy to turn them on or off. If you're, I don't know why you'd want to turn them off. If you're having a conversation that you don't want anybody to be aware of, I guess, that's always an option. And it's easy enough to do while you're in a call by touching the settings button. It's really very simple. Question?
You have to turn them off if you pass the phone to somebody without a hearing loss.
Yes, well, so FCC regulations say if someone is using the phone with captions, it should be the user that it's registered to. Thank you for that.
Next slide.
Yes, please. Making a call is super simple. There's a number of different ways to do it. Pick up the handset and dial. is 1. Number 2, touch the speakerphone and dial. Number 3, touch the screen itself and touch the name of the person you want to call and pick the phone number. It's that simple. Answering a call, you can either pick up the handset or you can touch the speakerphone. For demonstration purposes, you see that green touch here to turn on captions. We want everybody to be aware that they do not have to use captions all the time. The CaptionCall phone and service is provided for that purpose, but it's not an obligation. Disclaimer, disclaimer, disclaimer. Oh my goodness, volume. I'm going to turn on that's my little demo phone here. That was 1/3 of the volume that's available to you. There's more volume than most people would ever need. And the setting can get so high that your neighbors will complain. But just by rotating the volume button to the right clockwise, it turns it up. And at the bottom of the screen, you'll see that there's a bar of, I should say, a line of bars, either green or red. Red starts to tell you that you're in the danger zone, that much volume can be harmful. So it's just a safety, I guess, feature to let people know that it's turned up really high. So be careful if you're going to hold the handset to your ears.
We have a question from
Sure.
Alan.
Sure, Alan.
Okay, so if you're changing the ringer volume, you want the handset on the phone, correct?
Yes, if you are adjusting the ringer volume, the phone must not be in a call or in use. It needs to be at rest. And then once you set it, it will stay there until you change it. Same with the volume on the handset. Once you set it, it'll be there when you come back to the next call, unless you want to adjust it. Thank you for your question, Alan.
Next slide.
Yes, please. Oh, it's easy to mute a call, much like we mute ourselves here on a Zoom call. Touch the button, turn it on, touch the button, turn it off. Again, it's all on a touch screen, but you can see it lights up to let you know when you are on mute.
We have a question from Diane Gross. Diane,
Sure. Hi, Diane.
unmute yourself.
Okay, hello. I just popped into my head because I'm waiting for a grocery delivery. Our landline phone is tied into the intercom at the front door of the building. So would a call, like if somebody comes to the door, presses the buzzer, would their voice come up on the captions?
Does it come up on a regular phone?
What, their voice? Yeah, because as I said, our intercom is tied to our landline phone.
Okay.
So when somebody rings the buzzer at the front door, the landline phone rings and I answer it and buzz, they'll let me know they're here and then I'll press the button to buzz them in. But I'm just saying.
So if I understand you correctly, when someone buzzes and you answer the phone, you're having a conversation with them to let them in, correct?
Right.
Then yes, everything they say will show up on the screen, just like a regular telephone conversation.
Oh, nice. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Next slide. We talked about the speakerphone. It's not complicated. You touch the button, the speaker's on. It's one of the ways you can answer the phone. Next slide. Save a conversation. Again, you're in a conversation with someone who's giving you information and you need to take notes. It's hard enough to listen. It's hard enough if we don't understand something. It's in writing in front of us and we can take notes. We don't have to take notes. We can just push the save captions button and this call will automatically be saved. In our settings, we have the option to always save captions, don't save captions, or always ask me, because sometimes I tend to forget. And once you hang up, the call is gone. So if you like that feature and you want to be asked every time if this is a call you need to save, you have that option, which I think is wonderful when you're getting instructions from somebody, whether it's dinner reservations, plane reservations, or information from a physician or a meeting. It doesn't matter. Whatever it is that's important, you have this option, and then you can go back and reread it whenever and as often as you'd like, and it will be there until you delete it. Some people like this feature when they order things, purchase things over the phone. Place your order. Please repeat that back to me. You've saved the captions. If for some reason your order shows up and it's not correct, you have it right there to refer back to. So I really appreciate that feature. And again, 200 hours of information. So it's there for as long as you want. Next slide. We have an app for not only the iPhone, but also for Androids. If you're the type of person who wants to be on the go, needs captions on their cell phone, we have that option for you too. Next slide. Qualifying is easy, okay? What you need is to be able to say that you have hearing loss and need captions to better use the phone. If that's you, you qualify. And we don't need any kind of insurance. We don't need any kind of doctor's note. We don't need a certification form anymore. It's all about self-certification. And the beauty of this is you can order a phone for anyone now. It's a simple process, and we're just trying to reach all those people who need a captioning telephone and service and don't know about us. So we'll talk more about that after the slideshow. Next slide. No cost red carpet service. Again, no cost for the equipment, no cost for the service, no cost for the delivery, no cost for this delightful person to come and install it, and no cost for ongoing customer support 7 days a week. Captions will work 24/7. Customer support is available 7 days a week during extended business hours. Next slide. Order now. Woo. It's as easy as giving me a name, address, and phone number, or you can go to our website. I personally prefer the personal touch. I like talking to a human. And of course, I need my boss to know I'm working, so I like to take care of things personally. But we're here no matter how we can help you, or wherever you are in the US, we're here to help. All right. Let's close that so I can see your wonderful faces again. And I can answer. Yes, Barbara's got a question. Barbara, can you unmute? There you go.
I have a CapTel phone,
Okay.
and I take it this is not related to your phone at all.
CapTel is a state program. CaptionCall is a nationwide program. It's a different phone, same idea, but they work a little bit differently. And if you'd like to try one, you're always welcome to try one. You can have both phones, and whichever one you don't care for, you can always just return. With us, you don't have to go anywhere. We'll bring it to you. And if it doesn't work for you, we'll come pick it up. It's that.
Oh, I really want to try your phone. I'm sorry, I don't have it.
All right. When we're finished, Barbara, you and I will chat, and I'm sure Tony has contact information for you.
Thank
Yes,
you.
Tony? Okay, you're welcome. I want to be sure everybody knows that you no longer need internet in order to have a captioning phone. We can connect to your landline. We can connect to your cell phone. And if you don't have internet, we will bring a device that generates internet so that you can use our service. It will not allow you to stream movies. It's not there to run your computer for you. It's simply there to bring internet to the telephone. And I know for a fact, especially a lot of people in Laguna Woods, internet has been a challenge. So we're trying to make sure that we can help everybody who either doesn't have access to, for whatever reason, or is in an area where there is no internet. We're trying to do what we can there. So that's another option.
Right. So, oh,
I
Diane,
just
go ahead.
recently had my caption call connecting through my iPhone now rather than my landline.
Mhm.
And when it was installed, I was told that the caption call will only ring once when a call comes through. So basically, in order to use it on an incoming call, I have to be sitting right next to it at the time. Is that correct? And is that going to be corrupted, or did you understand?
I understood what you said. I don't know why that would be happening unless there's something peculiar in the wiring. I know we have a community here in Carlsbad, California, that their internal system, we have to set the ringer on the caption call for twice as many as their internal for whatever reason. I'm going to look into that, Donnie-Ann, and I'm going to find out how we can make that ring more for you if it is in fact an
Well,
issue.
he said that was the downside
Yeah.
of having it come through my iPhone as opposed to the landline, which used to ring, I don't know, 3 or 4 times, whatever I set it for.
Right. That's the first time I've heard it. So please let me look into it and we'll get that taken care of for you. Okay.
And the other question I have is the accuracy of what is being said is only about maybe 60 to 70% correct to what is being said. So I know this is being done live. Is there any hope that we'll get better clarity of what is being said?
If that's the actual percentage, then that person shouldn't be working for us because we have strict policies that we have to adhere to in order to be compliant. So I would very much like to address that. If when you have on a call, you get a captioning assistant number at the top of the call. If you ever have a situation where that's an issue that you just described, save the call, pull the captions back down and make note of the captioning assistant and the date and time of the call. It's all there on the screen. And please let us know. We have a toll-free number that's in your phone for customer support. And we need to be aware of that because that should not happening. We like to be more accurate than Google and Siri. But we
great,
need,
thanks. That gives me a way to let you know.
absolutely. We need to know. Yeah. We don't
Thank
want
you, Lisa.
You bet. We don't want you to be more frustrated. We want this to be a good experience. Yes,
Right.
Tony. Tony, you had a question?
Yeah, I also wanted to mention that internet speed can make a difference. And here in Laguna Woods, you know, most people just get the basic speed, but you can request a wider highway, internet highway.
Uh-huh.
But the other thing is, I know that it's very difficult to caption somebody that's speaking too fast. So there's fast and there's really fast.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of young people have a tendency to really talk very fast. The one thing that you could do in that case is to advocate for yourself and ask the person if they would slow down a little bit or enunciate. If they enunciate, they will automatically slow down. So, but so you just ask them to slow down a little bit. you don't want them to be unnatural or anything like that. And do expect that if they do slow down and the conversation goes on for a while, they're very likely to ramp up again. So again, you know, you kind of have to ask them if they, you know, slow down a little bit. And that'll improve if they're talking too fast and you're having bad captions. That will improve the captions.
We should maybe ask Joe Gale, our captioning agent today, what are the biggest hurdles when you're captioning?
Would you like to answer that, Joe?
Hang on, I'm just writing that. It's hard to write and talk and caption at the same time, but I'll give it a shot. Tony, what you just said is spot on. People who talk fast are our biggest issues when we're captioning, and also people with heavy accents. But yes, Tony, what you said, I wish people would slow down when they're talking.
Thank you, Joe.
You're welcome.
Noelle, you have a question? You want to unmute yourself?
Yeah, and I just wanted to thank you, Lisa, for a great presentation. It was very helpful. And just commenting on Donann's, kind of piggybacking on what her comment was. Patients will come in and say, it just says inaudible. I can't understand. And just reiterating that if the speech recognition software or the transcriber can't understand, then the patient shouldn't be able to understand.
Right.
So my question is CaptionCall still using 80% speech recognition with a slight enhancement of a transcriber, or is it all speech recognition and somebody's just overseeing it? Kind of, what is your software these days?
So great question. Thank you. And the last I was told, it's Dragon 1000. Whether or not that's been upgraded, I'm not a tech person, and honestly, I haven't asked. I'd be happy to find out and get back to you. There is a voice to text component and then a captioning agent making corrections, because English is hard. To, and to all sound the same, but they're very different in meaning, much the same as, you know, there and there. And right on, Joe, look at you. She gets those captions correct all the time.
Thank you.
I don't know the percentage to answer your question, Anne. If you'd like to know, I'd be happy to find out.
No, it's not. It's more just an awareness for the patient to understand the process.
Yes.
Because some of the previous companies did total captioning, some did total, you know, voice recognition, and it sounds like yours is now a combination of the two. Is that accurate?
That is accurate. Trying to do the best possible service for our customers. A hybrid, as it were.
That's great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Who else has any questions? Let's just expand a little bit how somebody that does not have a landline can get a landline phone. Get a landline
great question.
phone number.
So for all of you here, with the exception of Barbara, you all seem very familiar with CaptionCall. And I want to remind you today that there are a lot of people out there who suffer with hearing loss, are unaware of it, don't care to address it, or can't afford to address it. And in the last 12 months, I've spent a lot of time going to food banks, HUD housing, finding a lot of people who are just not as fortunate as the majority of us here. So with that said, we've come up with solutions for people who don't have a landline, don't have internet, or don't have a cell phone. If you have one of those three, internet, a landline, or a cell phone, most people have one of those three. We can provide the rest. Tony's question was about a landline. Well, Lisa, I don't have a landline. That's okay. Do you have internet? Yes, wonderful. We will generate a brand new phone number for you that no one has ever used, so you won't get any political calls, any termite exterminators, or any warranty for your car calls, and you'll never get billed for it. It's a beautiful thing. If you don't have internet and you have a cell phone, we can hook that up too, so that both ring, and we'll make sure they ring enough for you to answer. Again, all at no charge.
Excellent. Excellent. Now, do you, installing the caption call for your smartphone,
Mhm.
whether it be iPhone or Android, is that, what's the process for that? Do you need to have an installer come to the house?
So we have two different ways to use a cell phone with CaptionCall. One is with our app, and that you can download, but you do need to have it registered. So we do need to create an account. We can do that in person, or we can do that, I guess, either over the phone or via email for someone. If you like the personal touch, it's not a problem. We'll gladly send one of our delightful people out to help you. The other way to use your cell phone with CaptionCall is we connect your cell phone to one of our CaptionCall phones, which I turned off. There we go. To one of our CaptionCall phones, and they'll ring simultaneously when you're home. And then when you leave the house, your cell phone will behave the way it always behaves. Did that make sense?
Well, then in that case, you would have caption call either on your cell phone or on your landline, but not both. No? You can have both.
You can have both. You can have captions wherever you need them now. We have solutions for every situation, and everybody's situation is unique, and we're happy to send out a live person to help you, so that you don't have to try to figure out how to connect everything or which situation is better for you. You can try them all at no charge.
Sounds good.
So I asked you earlier if I could get some help from all of you. And my situation is, I'm discovering there are so many people in this country who are underserved when it comes to hearing loss. Like we talked about, all of us who are fortunate enough to be able to be here on a Zoom call, which means we have technology, which means we can afford what we need, and thus we're taken care of. But there are a lot of people out there who are less fortunate, and I can't find them all by myself. So if there's someone you know anywhere in the country, someone who lives in a community where there are people who, I don't want to say senior, because we're not limited by age, right? And hearing loss doesn't have any age boundaries. It happens to some of us when we're much younger. But if you know of someone in a community where we can go and do a sign-up day or a presentation or another Zoom presentation, I would just really appreciate you reaching out either to myself or to Tony, so that I can connect with them. Because like I said, I can't get to them by myself. I don't know them all. So any group or organization that you belong to, if there's one person that we can help or 100 people, I don't care. I will go and talk to one person at a time if I have to. I just want to help these people. Yes, Tony.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who that can be helped, but they don't think they have a hearing loss. Or
I
they,
was one of those people.
yeah, yeah. So, but we know, I'm a person with a hearing loss, hearing aid, cochlear implant, and I know I can recognize very often somebody who has a hearing loss, and even if they're not acknowledging it,
Mhm.
So I do try to talk to people about it. It's a little easier for me because I've been talking to people with hearing loss for over 25 years. Having worked for the Hearing Loss Association of America, and since I've been back home in California, and having the Hearing Well Club, and now we have the Mission Viejo chapter, and so I'm, I I feel I can approach people um, about that. So, but many of you know family or friends who are struggling, and I know the biggest complaint that I get here in Laguna Woods, since it's mostly seniors, is people who can't understand their grandchildren. Grandchildren talk too fast. They talk so sweet. It's just difficult to understand. They know the child is there, but they're not responding properly because they're not understanding what's being said. So having this phone is wonderful because you can now understand what they're saying, and you can interact and have a relationship with that grandchild rather than cutting the call short, or let me talk to your mother.
Yeah.
Or there's different ways to, move off of the call. And anyway, so you have more opportunity to get to know, spend time, with communicating with your grandchildren.
I may have shared this story with you before because it's one of my favorites, but when I was brand new with CaptionCall, I was an installer and I showed up at a house, very nice German couple. She was petite and you could tell she worked hard, and he was tall and very excellent posture and just a real proud man, right? And I rang the doorbell and I'm so excited to install a phone because, like I said, I was brand new. And the first thing she said to me was, "Oh, we should have called you. He hasn't used the phone in 5 years. We don't need that." And I was okay. So my heart sank, right? Because wait a minute, you can't turn me away. This is my job. I have to do my job. I don't want to get fired. More importantly, 5 years is a long time. That's why I'm here. And I'm thinking in my head, that's why he needs this phone. But I just said to them, look, I'm here. I have an hour. Could I maybe show you what it can do? And then if you don't like it, I'll leave with it. Okay, you can come in. So they let me in. And mind you, they're a couple who actually turn off their modem when they're not using their computer. Okay, so I'm not dealing with the most tech savvy people here. Not a problem. We let everything power up. I go to install the phone. They share with me they have 2 daughters, one who's an hour away, the other one's 4 hours away. So they don't get to see them every day, but it's a conversation over the phone. But who do they talk to? They talk to mom. They talk to mom, and then dad gets the 30-second synopsis. So I put both daughters in the phone. I program their numbers in the phone. Which one would you like to call first? Let's call her Mary. I put it on speakerphone and I called Mary. Hello, Mary. My name's Lisa. I'm here with your mom and dad. Everything's fine, right? I just installed a new phone for your dad so he can not only hear you, but he'll be able to read what you're saying. Please say hello to your father. Papa, is that you? And out of his mouth comes, yes, Mary, it's me. The conversation happens. I don't know who started crying first, Mary, mom, me, or dad himself, but it was the most beautiful thing. And even if it's just to say, I love you, or it's to talk about the weather, it doesn't matter how simple the conversation is. The fact of the matter is he was no longer isolated, and he can talk to his children and grandchildren anytime. And that was the day that I knew that I was in the right place. And this is the job for me, because it just truly opened my heart. So there are people out there who, like me, think they don't have hearing loss. This was me with a cordless phone, right? I'm like this, I'm doing the dishes. Oh, I don't want my neck to get stiff, so I better come over here. Oh, now I can't understand my girlfriend. Must be something wrong with the phone. When you tilt it that way, it doesn't work as well. No, it wasn't the phone. It was my left ear. I was experiencing hearing loss and completely unaware, completely. So we can help people just by noticing, obviously they say what, or they lean in, or you can tell when they're reading lips, or they don't engage in the conversation because they just can't understand what's being said. Those are the people we want to help. So, yes,
Also,
Tiffany.
there are people that the, don't use the phone, but they have their spouse make all their phone calls, make all their appointments, speak for them. And I think this solution offers communication independence. It allows people to speak independent, just be independent and not dependent on a spouse. What if your spouse is off to the store or just away from the house, and you really need to answer a call, or something, you need to make a call, and you're so dependent on your spouse? That's not a good situation to be in. So having a phone, using it every once in a while, practicing with it, don't, become friends with your phone. And it just changes your life. It's really life-saving. Bruce, you have a question?
Comment. I got a similar story to Lisa's as far as the old people who turn off their modem at night and completely technically, but I had the same problem with the I always call the daughter who relate to the we went through that. I have two favorite capture call stories, but my favorite one, well, early on in the game when I was an installer, went to this one house and. Lady answers the door and I go in and install the phone and everything. And she's got technically she's okay. And I go through my whole spiel with the training and everything, and then she's following along. And I was in her house 40 minutes before I found out she had no cochlea, and she couldn't hear me at all.
Oh,
She had perfect lip reading from the
wow.
side, from the front. The only time she couldn't hear me is when she's behind me. But anyway, the test was she said, "Can I call my mom?" I said, "Okay." She picks up the caption call phone and says, "Call." No, she calls on the TTY first because that's the way they would communicate. She says, "Mom, pick up the phone." Mom says, "Huh?" And the customer says, "Pick up the phone." "Hi, Ma. Is that you?" "Yeah, I can talk on the phone now." She had perfect speech because she lost her cochlea when she was 5, so she had learned to speak. So, but you could carry on conversation with this lady and not know she was deaf, but it freed her from the TTY, and in fact, I think she got rid of the TTY after a while. So that was wonderful. My other quick story is I had a 101-year-old nun, same problem. I haven't used a phone in 35 years, and she would not pick up the phone. Finally, one of the priests in the room picked up the phone and made a phone, called his cell phone from it, and shoved the phone in their ears, picked up his cell phone and said, "Hi, sister, I can hear you." The tears and everything. Yeah. So I just love working for the company. And those success stories are just wonderful. And I did the job for 10 years and I retired too. So anyway, so thanks for all you do, Lisa. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Bruce. The stories go on and on and on, and whether we're enhancing somebody's world so they can make one call a week, or whether we're changing lives because we're giving people back their independence, It doesn't matter. It's here for them if they want it and need it. I like to think it's a little piece of security, even for those of us who wear hearing aids. I don't have them in while I'm sleeping. And if I have to answer a call or make a call in the middle of the night, it's important to be able to understand what first responders are saying. And I would like to fire every spouse who's a secretary for their non-hearing spouse, because it is important to have that independence. And the other day I had a situation arise, and it's come up more than once. Someone goes into hospice, and of course we don't know how long they're going to be there, but there are certain conversations that they would like to have, and they want to be able to do it independently. Well, of course, we will gladly provide a phone for as long or as short of a time as they need, and they can make all the calls that they want to and have that privacy to be able to do so without having to ask someone else to facilitate that for them. So, any other questions I can answer today? You've all been very attentive, and I appreciate your time. Know that Tony always knows how to get a hold of me. Yes, Barbara, another question?
Yes,
Sure.
Diane?
Are we going to chat on Zoom, or are you going to call me? Or
If you don't mind, just give me your phone number right now. I'll call you.
okay, 949 707 0778.
All right, I'll call you.
All
Thank
right, thank you.
You bet. Diane?
Yeah, I'm just thinking, I have a very good friend who, because of some physical ailments, it's very difficult for her to speak. How are the captions in that situation?
When she's calling you?
Yeah, or I'm calling her because I have 2 cochlear implants, but she's one of the people who's very difficult for me to understand. So I haven't seen her in 2 years, so we have a 2-year-long text message thread going on. But I'd love to be able to talk to her. So I'm just thinking, if I had a CaptionCall phone, or would I be able to get a captioner who's trained to listen to people who have speech difficulties?
If anybody can understand her, we would caption what she says. If she's completely inaudible to a person who does not have hearing loss, then we wouldn't be able to caption what she says. But if anybody can understand her at all, yes, you would caption.
She's living in an assisted living facility now, so hopefully there are people there who understand her. I know it's difficult for everybody, and as she's gotten older, it's gotten more difficult.
Yeah.
Okay, something to think about. Thank you.
Happy to help in any way. Do you need a CaptionCall phone? Is that what you're saying?
I am not sure, because I'm basically, my cochlears have been doing so well for me that I hear perfectly 99% of the time on my cell phone.
Okay.
And so, but we do have landline here, and I have just a speakerphone from CapTel. From CTAP. And so I've been thinking of it, but the issue is, where do I put it? I have run out of room in here. So I have to figure that out.
To that point, we have a wall mount bracket, if that's something that anybody ever needs, where we can actually mount the phone on the wall.
Yeah. Well, also, I know you said that the font is very big. I am legally blind, so I would be curious to see how I can do with that too.
Well, whenever you want to try it, you just let Tony know or call me directly. My information's in the chat.
Okay, I will do that. Thank you.
For those of you who want to write it down, my name again is Lisa Kaufman with a K. My phone number is 760-798-6409. That'll work for. Go ahead.
Can you do the last 4 digits again? I can't find it in the chat.
760-798-6409.
Thank you.
You are most welcome, and feel free to share that with anybody who needs help or has questions about Caption Call. Or about making chocolate chip cookies or traveling to Mexico. I'll make friends. I don't know about you guys, but I missed that part of being in person. On Zoom, I can see your faces, right? And sometimes I
Mhm.
see expressions or reactions, but it takes the fun out of it for me because I really like to be in person and have that interaction. And okay, sometimes I'm a bit of a comedian, but I miss that and look forward to seeing faces in person again. But then there's Diane, she's on a beach, so maybe she's better off.
Not Diane. The captioner says Diane, but I think it was Don M.
Diane, yes, she's on a
Yes.
beach. Oh. See what
I
you-
would like to be on a beach.
Anything else I can do for anybody here?
I think it's a wrap.
Okay.
It's been wonderful. Really, really been wonderful. Enjoyable. And we learned something. Oh, one last question.
Yes.
So can you use your voice over IP and the internet at the same time? I mean, I would assume it's
Yes.
programmable that way.
Yes.
So what about if I have an existing number? Can we get it transferred to you?
If you have an existing landline,
Yeah.
you don't have to change your number. You get to keep your number.
No, what if but I want your landline.
If we install a brand new VoIP line for you,
Yeah, yeah.
it has to be a new number. You can't use your old number.
Okay, gotcha.
But if you like your old number and you want to keep it, then you don't have to change. I guess the only situation I ever hear is people say, I get too many robocalls. I get too many solicitations. Well, you're welcome to give up your landline then. Oh, I don't want to give up my landline. Well, you have to make the choice, and whatever you
You have to be
decide, we'll
careful
gladly
when you're
support.
changing phone numbers, except in your case, because you don't know who had that number before and how troublesome spam calls are, robocalls. Yeah. Lisa, thank you so much.
It's my pleasure. I see that Jeff Chess wrote a note that he had to leave in order to go volunteer at a food bank. That's where I'd like to be. I'd like to get in touch with Jeff, and I would like to go volunteer at the food bank and share Caption Call with people there, because odds are some of them have hearing loss,
Great.
for example.
Great.
All right. Thank you,
Okay.
everyone.
So I'm going to say goodbye, Lisa. And it was great having everybody. And I hope you join us next month for the Department of Consumer Affairs, which I think will be very interesting for most people. That's April the 12th. So mark your calendars in advance and look for my emails. And you can always check our website and to see what's coming up, and you can register on the website to attend the Zoom calls, Zoom meetings. Okay.
Thanks, everybody. Have a good week.
Thank you. Have a great week. Bye.